Best SUVs in 2025. Which models we'd buy and why? SUVs have rapidly become one of the most common sights on the road. And it's easy to understand why. Their combination of space, practicality and often performance has seen them become a familiar sight, overtaking the MPVs and estates in the process. This winning combination has attracted more consumers, prompting an increasing number of brands to enter the market, including luxury names like Aston Martin and Ferrari, as well as the manufacturers you'd expect to see such as Mercedes, BMW and Hyundai. More cars mean more choice. But we've tested every SUV currently available in the UK and compiled our top picks here, regardless of powertrain. That's why you'll find hybrid options like the Hyundai Santa Fe alongside high performance petrol-powered models like the Ferrari Purosangue. After all, this is our definitive list of the best SUVs. Keep reading for our favorites. 1. Aston Martin DBX. Best SUV for mixing performance with luxury. Pros: sporty, luxurious inside, good looks. Cons: tech and somewhat outdates. Is the Aston Martin DBX the first SUV to properly nail being sporty? Quite possibly. Arguments can be made for the Porsche Cayenne or Range Rover Sport. But the Aston Martin manages to be genuinely engaging to drive and full of typical Aston Martin character. Sitting on a bespoke all-aluminium chassis and making use of an AMG-sourced twin-turbo 4.0-liter V8. It has all the right figures for a performance SUV. A top speed of 181 miles per hour and a 0 to 62 miles per hour time of 4.5 seconds. The interior of an Aston is often gorgeous but hampered by outdated tech. Thankfully, this isn't the case in the DBX. Not only is the interior absolutely stunning, but backed up with a Mercedes-sourced infotainment system that feels up to date. And in terms of off-roading, the DBX continues to impress. Not only does it feel stable on loose surfaces, it can wade through 500 millimeters of water and tow 2.7 tons with ease. 2. Range Rover. Best SUV for those after the iconic SUV benchmark. Pros: stylish, better ride, range of powertrains. Cons: Porsche and Bentley SUVs handle better. The new Range Rover is one of the most complete SUVs you can buy. And its latest generation takes a leap in refinement. This is a whole new platform stuffed full of new hardware, software and powertrains, bringing the magic as a body structure some 35% stiffer than that of the outgoing cars. A new electronic anti-roll control system, rated to an eye-watering 1,032 pound-feet of torque. Applied in milliseconds, and both faster acting and more CO2 efficient than the old hydraulic setup. Rear-wheel steering and new 5-link rear suspension. Yes, the Bentley Bentayga and Porsche Cayenne handle better. But few cars are as comfortable as the Range Rover or quite so well-rounded. 3. Mercedes G-Class. Best SUV for those who want something luxurious. And a G-Class. Pros: unmatched road presence. Handles well. A bit special. Cons: not as roomy as you might think. Can't shake the attention. Major updates for the perennial Mercedes-Benz G-Class SUV don't come around very often. But the latest is worth the wait. At first glance it may not seem so. But quite a lot is new on the 2024 Mercedes-Benz G-Class. For a start, it's now available with an electric powertrain. As already stated, the combustion engine 2024 G-Class is available in two different configurations: G500 and G450D. Both use an inline 6-cylinder unit and deliver power via Mercedes' 9G-tronic automatic gearbox. But their performance stats differ. The G500 produces 442 bhp, plus an extra 20 or so from the electric motor of the hybrid system, and 413 lb-ft of torque. It'll do 0 to 62 miles per hour in 5.4 seconds, before going on to a top speed of 130 miles per hour. Whatever powertrain you opt for, the G-Class is not the perfect SUV. But in a world now mired in SUV overkill, where everything from the Ford Puma to the Cadillac Escalade could be considered one, the G stands out as a little bit different. 4. Hyundai Santa Fe. Best SUV for those looking for a capable, futuristic-looking people mover. Pros: extremely roomy and useful interior. Quiet and smooth. Cons: slightly fiddly infotainment. PHEVE range could be better. The 5th generation Hyundai Santa Fe opts for a boxy and modern aesthetic, with distinctive details like the new H-pattern DRLs, vents aplenty and a slightly more controversial rear-end design. For the powertrain, your options are either a hybrid or plug-in model, and both models feature a 1.6-liter petrol engine. Both also feature tech like adaptive regenerative braking, which increases or relaxes depending on how close you are to a car in front, or a lowering of the speed limit, and both use a 6-speed automatic, not a CVT seen in Toyota hybrids. For example, inside, the Santa Fe's interior feels well built but includes lots of handy and practical touches. The driving position offers loads of adjustment and seat comfort is impressive, handy for long journeys and tall drivers. The steering wheel itself is chunky, with solid but soft-feeling materials on the buttons and Hyundai's now conventional stock drive shifter. 5. Skoda Kodiaq. Best SUV for those looking for no-thrills practicality. Pros: spacious interior, comfortable ride, improved engine options. Cons: conservative design, lacks standout features. We've chosen the slightly updated Skoda Kodiaq, while maintaining its familiar silhouette. Facelift gets a larger, more upright grille and a revised headlight design with optional LED matrix technology, adding a touch of modernity. It's available in two 1.0-liter TSI engines from Volkswagen's Evo 2 generation. The more powerful variant now delivers a modest 114 bhp, which is enough for most tasks. Ride quality remains a strong point post-facelift too, and it's equally practical inside. It's probably not the most engaging car here, but the Kodiaq remains a sensible choice for those seeking a reliable and practical compact SUV. 6. Porsche Cayenne e-Hybrid. Best SUV for those who want speed and handling with practicality. Pros: better looks, more speed, more variety. Cons: you'll need to raid the options list. Porsche has updated its Cayenne SUV, and the result is a car that is better to sit in and, we think, better to look at, with a driving experience that offers an even broader scope of appeal than ever before. You'll need to be free with the option spending, but little else on sale can provide such scale from a single variant as the Turbo e-Hybrid, from silent running to full-blooded 729 bhp screaming. While the rest of the hybrid Cayenne range carefully balances luxury and performance in a manner that outshines the available contemporaries at their price points. If you're looking for speed, the 3rd-gen Cayenne facelift features tweaks to the exterior design, a heavily revised interior with additional tech, an overhauled engine lineup, including the new hybrid systems, and changes to the passive and adaptive suspension offerings. It's modern luxury with a high-rise twist. 7. Land Rover Defender V8. Best SUV for those want the Defender with classic JLR supercharged power. Pros: good looks, great engine. Cons: not great around town, very inefficient. The new Defender is much more of a status symbol than the old car ever was, and none of its endless configurations convey that attitude better than the range-topping 518 bhp supercharged 5.0-liter V8. It's a detuned version of engine fitted to the old Jaguar F-Type SVR, churning out up 518 bhp and 461 pound-feet of torque. It's enough shove the short wheelbase 90 model from 0 to 62 miles per hour in a hot hatchback troubling 5.2 seconds. The larger, heavier 110 and 130 variants aren't that far behind. Either, they can complete the same sprint in 5.4 and 5.7 seconds respectively. That's Hyundai i30N territory, in a car that can haul you and all your mates across the Sahara in air-conditioned comfort. Of course, compared to other cars on this list, the Defender V8 is expensive to buy, inconvenient around town and swills fuel faster than a burning oil rig, but there are few cars capable of matching it. 8. Abarth 600e. Best electric SUV for driving engagement. Pros: aggressive design, strong performance, engaging handling. Cons: limited electric range. Base model interior lacks premium feel. The Abarth 600e is the hottest version of the usually cuddly Fiat 600e. Available in 2 trims, the standard model delivers 237 bhp, while the limited edition Scorpionissima boosts output to 278 bhp. As you'd expect, that's the one we prefer. It starts £36.975 for the base model, rising to £41.975 for the Scorpionissima. It accelerates from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 5.9 seconds and uses a mechanical limited slip differential. So you can put the power on way earlier than you'd expect. The exterior design draws inspiration from the classic 850TC. And it's a bit touring car, with a blockier front end and a prominent rear wing. The electric range isn't amazing compared to some competitors, but this car is all about engagement rather than efficiency. Overall, the Abarth 600e is a hoot, and pairs Abarth's heritage with a surprisingly fizzy driving experience. 9. Ferrari Purosangue. Best SUV for those who want most of the Ferrari experience, but with much more space. Pros: luxurious cabin, impressive handling, V12 at the front. Cons: boot is small for the class. Rear suicide doors. It finally happened. Ferrari made an SUV. And thankfully it's one of the most impressive examples of the genre we've ever driven. Maranello has shoved a V12 in at the front, with a total output of 715 bhp at 7,750 revolutions per minute. That's good for 0 to 62 miles per hour in 3.3 seconds and 120 miles per hour in 10.6 despite a dry curb weight in excess of 2 tons. Inside, Maranello has opted for a bold, clean design that gives each occupant the feeling of their own individual space and tech without losing the cocooned-in feel of a proper sports car. The material choice throughout is second to none, ranging from beautifully stitched leathers to a carbon fiber weave that integrates fine copper wire. Oh, and the boot measures up at 473 liters with all seats in place, meaning it's around the same as a hybrid Range Rover Evoque. The Purosangue has the looks, sound and pace of a proper Ferrari, while the cabin and outright luxury is second to none. It does have its flaws, what Italian supercar doesn't, and dynamically it's not quite a match for Ferrari's low-slung sports cars. But in the grand scheme these are small complaints. 10. Renault Scenic. Best SUV for those looking for French flair in a light, electric, bubbly package. Pros: engaging handling, efficient powertrain, good range. Cons: ride can be jiggly at times, poor rear visibility. Is it an SUV or an MPV? Ultimately it doesn't matter because the Renault Scenic is one of the best electric SUVs we've driven. And one of the best SUVs period. Just like the original Scenic, it keeps the safety and well-being of passengers front and center. Despite being an electric SUV with a lithium-ion battery in tow, it's relatively light for a car in this sector. And that comes with 2 key benefits: its official efficiency and range figures are impressive. And best of all, it has a little old-school Renault va-va-voom. Its performance isn't electrifying as some electric cars, but it doesn't really need to be. There's enough spirit in its dynamic DNA here to at least provide a semblance of fun for keen drivers. And importantly, that doesn't detract from a driving experience that's mostly comfortable and easy around town. 11. Skoda Kodiaq. Best SUV for those looking for a practical, good value option. Pros: roomy inside, lots of spec choice, inviting interior, quiet at speed. Cons: not particularly exciting to drive. Ride isn't as good as it was. The new Skoda Kodiaq continues the good work achieved by its predecessor and sticks closely to the winning formula of the previous car too. The new Kodiaq is longer and roomier and features a range of updates. There are new lights, a new logo, a new grille with new air intakes underneath, a new spoiler sticking out the back of the lengthened roof, and some new colors. Inside, there's nothing radically different or innovative inside. but it's a very successful mix of familiar and new, of traditional and advanced. It's still very roomy, in fact slightly roomier than before, with an expanded boot and more headroom for those in the third row, while having a sleeker shape that has reduced aerodynamic drag. As this list proves, there are plenty of choices for buyers wanting family-friendly SUVs. And this remains among the best, certainly when you factor in the cost. 12. Dacia Duster. Best SUV for those looking for a bargain. Pros: neat and clever interior. Hybrid efficiency. Handy off-road and sweet on it. Cons: wind and powertrain noise. Boosty petrol. Lumpy manual. Cozy rear space. The Duster is a huge success story. And the next generation continues the charm and incredible value of the model. There's been a complete exterior and interior rethink, with the generation now deploying the brand's fresh new design language. There are more reused materials too, with 20% of all the car's plastics now coming from recycled sources. On top of that, the Duster moves from Renault-Nissan's rather creaky B platform, which has been used since the likes of the K12 Nissan Micra and third-generation Renault Clio, onto the much newer CMF-B architecture, bringing along new powertrain options like a hybrid, and promising much refreshed dynamics. The interior is neat, the powertrains are modern and efficient, it handles deftly on the road and manages to be impressively good off it. The boot is bigger than before, and the base tech it offers is useful and unobtrusive. Older Dusters have been desirable because they've been great value for money. But this one is desirable full stop.